Hey guys, yeah, I wanted to come out and send my condolences and thoughts and prayers to Scott Hall's family. Scott Hall, otherwise known to us wrestling fans as Razor Ramon, will always be remembered as one of the greatest in-ring performers, no matter where he was at, that never got to be a world champion. Never once. But he is credited for helping to, reinvent the business in the mid-90s. In fact, I would go as far as to say when he was still in WWF, the feud he had with Goldust, in late 95, early 96, to me, laid the groundwork for what would become, the Attitude Era. It laid the groundwork because, it was still being done. I mean, this was being done, I should say, at a time where, WWF still was viewed as a family-friendly product, and the new generation was trying to be a reflection of that. So for him to have the feud with Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, that he did, to me, not only put Goldust on the map, in my opinion, but it really, when you get down to it, it really, like I said, laid the groundwork for what would later be known as the Attitude Era. Because you wouldn't expect something like that, really to be showcased in the way it was. Because it overstepped boundaries. It really did. It really did. But of course, I remember first seeing him when he was the Diamond Stud in his later tenure with WCW. This was after he had come into WCW, still as Scott Hall from the AWA with the big curly hair, bushy mustache, stuff like that. So, that's how I remember first seeing him, and I thought, the guy had a unique look. And this was at a time when I was going back and when I had first discovered, WCW, just by flickering through channels looking for wrestling. And I thought, oh, this guy's got a unique look. What is this? And that's why I saw Sting, more so than I thought, because I'd seen him before, but I was thinking, what company does this guy work for? I don't see him in WWF, where's he at? And then I see this, and I'm like, oh, he's here. So to me, that's when I first saw him, and got to know who he was. Heck, I even can admit that I got to see him in person in 1998, when he teamed up with, I think, what was it, Stevie Ray or Brian Adams, somebody in the NWO Black and White, against, Kevin Nash, not Kevin Nash, but against Sting and the Giant, who ironically, the Giant, Paul White, 24 hours later in Kansas City, because the house show was on a Sunday in Topeka, 24 hours later in Kansas City, turns heel, and joins back up at the NWO Hollywood. It was surreal, and he ended up teaming with Scott. That's what's crazy. But honestly though, as I check something here, it was one of those moments that I'll never forget, because I got to see him in person finally, and get to see, exactly, what he was, what he was about. Well, I knew what he was about, but got to really see what he was about in person. But again, I think we all remember him as Razor Ramon. And to me, all WWF did at a time when they could do no wrong, really, was they took something that they saw WCW was trying to find potential in and tweak it in their image and turn it into solid gold. They did this also with Kevin Nash's character at Vinny Vegas, who ironically teamed with the Diamond Stud, Scott Hall. They tweaked that, turned that into Diesel, and they got gold there. So, yeah. Even though Ramon and Diesel was kind of just WWE caricatures of what Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were doing previously, they were done in a much better way. In a way that basically proved that you could take the potential of something and turn it into something. But yeah, I remember his time in WWF, and You know, they put him right, they shot him right to the top in feuds and programs with the likes of Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Warrior, Ric Flair, you know, you name it, Kurt Hennig, you know, the list goes on. And of course, everybody knows about the infamous 96 May edition of Nitro when he came out and, you know, out of nowhere when everybody still thought he was part of WWF. And then he cut that promo saying, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. That's basically laying the groundwork for what would be the NWO, later on, one of the most successful, influential groups in history. And, you know, you can't say any more than that. I mean, yeah, he had a 10-year run in TNA. You know, he had a brief return run in WWF as the version of the NWO, as part of the version of the NWO. And, you know, he made appearances even in ECW after WCW let him go. And that was, like, for a brief period, I think, after, like, Super Brawl 2000 or something. And, yeah, it was just... The guy's had a memorable career, there's no doubt about it. One of the guys that really put the Intercontinental Championship on the map. And one of the guys that, even though he's won multiple championships, never had a shot to be world champion. But in his case, I don't think he really needed it because his legacy was pretty much cemented, in my opinion, when he won that fourth Intercontinental title and when he did that promo on Nitro. His legacy was sealed. His legacy was cemented. But yeah, it's a huge loss, and you know, again, like I said, my condolences and prayers go out to his family. You know, and he's now in a better place, and hopefully we won't have to go through something like this again. And I know he's looking down, smiling at the fact that a lot of people, you know, are remembering him. Fans and colleagues are remembering what he contributed to the business, and you know, he's just having a good old time up there right now. You know, along with the likes of Kurt Hennig and you know, Warrior and all of them, basically, you know, redoing some of the legendary matches over and over as much as they want. So, thank you, Scott Hall, for all the memories and stuff. You will be missed. And guys, let me know what your thoughts and memories of Scott Hall, the bad guy, Ramon, are in the comments and in the live chat during the premiere.